Hello, Aries. I'm Ulrich. I'm a Lenormand card reader, and today we will do your financial card reading. The deck contains 44 cards. You see the 3 cards in front of me here we will be using for the reading. You can also see 4 objects here, meaning we will do 4 card readings for the sign of Aries for the month of September. Now, from these 4 objects, you choose or you pick one that relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate best to your current financial situation or the advice that you are receiving from the cards. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos related to the Aries sign, and then after you can decide which object or financial card reading is fitting you the best. The matches here represent the fire element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, the stone represents the earth element, and the shell represents the water element. So Aries, here we go for your financial card reading for September of this month. Hello, Aries, and welcome to the Shell or the Water Group for your financial card reading for September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27th of September, Mercury is going retrograde, meaning it's not a good idea then at that time for signing contracts, making agreements, anything you need to put your name under that, officialize it. It's not a good thing to do so. You will see also during that time your bus is late, you're in the traffic jam, packages that need to be delivered in your home are late, they arrive at the wrong destination, the containers is wrong. This is all connected to Mercury going retrograde. That time, the mind, all of our minds is working a little bit slower. And this is what the cause of the problem. Also during that time, it's not a good idea to buy cell phones, household equipment like laundry machines. Why? These devices are connected to warranties. The warranties are connected to the contract, and you get the point. It's a vicious circle. So the best thing to do in this period is not to buy any electronics or whatever, or sign any contracts. If, however, for some reason you're obligated to sign a contract whatsoever, double, triple check the fine print, because it's possible after you change your mind. There's some clauses in the contract that you don't agree with. You want to get out, you cannot anymore, and the problem starts. So the wise thing to do during that period is try to avoid doing certain purchases and especially sign contracts. So anyway, for the card reading, here we go, Aries for the Shell Group. So the first card that we see here is you're probably in a certain financial situation. You want to improve yourself. You want to get higher in life. You want also, probably you're the type that are looking for promotions. Most of us are looking for promotions. But anyway, the point here from this card is that we need to take care of our finances wherever you are. Here, this card tells you you need to manage your finances, and it's important that you do so. This card tells you maybe you're waiting on your higher salary, because maybe recently you get into a promotion. But this card tells you not to fool yourself. This card tells you you need to accept your current situation, and you need to learn the money that you have now in relationship to what you earn. So you need to let yourself balance out. We can all inspire to the American dream of abundance, but the point right now is here that you change the way you spend and change accordingly to what you earn. This is a better plan than trying to achieve more money. First, you need to learn to balance yourself. And if you have balanced yourself, you will be able to improve yourself, and the additional money, the raise that you get, will be welcome. But then you will learn how to use it in a different way. So the bottom line is here, it's not what you earn that matters, but how you manage the income. So whatever your income or savings are, it's determine what you do that you're short of money or not. So improve your daily life by spending within your means. Also, if this means that you, for instance, if you need to buy some certain articles that you're obligated to, also check out some websites secondhand. This is also applicable. So even some of these articles come even with the warranty. So just check out these things for budgeting your situation in a different way. Then the second card here is, this is also about budgeting. These all these cards are about budgeting your finances. Here, this is a card that wants to teach you to pay cash again. Most of us, we are so used of paying credit cards and we seldom or never pay cash anymore. If you are one of those types, as most of us, this card tells you to try to change to pay cash again. Why? Well, because we gain a better control over our finances. It's actually psychologically, if we have real money, actually the bills in our wallet, we take them out and we pay to the person, to the cashier or whatever we need to pay. It's like it's causing us a financial pain, because every time we take one, it's like we look at the money and at a certain point we see our wallet is empty again. So it makes us feel a certain pain, psychological pain. So this is the trick of this card. It wants you to get in contact with money again. It wants to, in that way, learn you to make the connections between the different paying methods. So you will prevent unnecessary spending. We know here on the long run, most of the banks and financial institutions, their plan is to gradually eliminate paper money because they want to support and they want us to support a society where our consumption behavior is constantly increasing. And virtual payment, of course, is essential in their business. Because why? It makes you also lose track of your expenses. We don't every day check our balance, so this is the purpose of it. So this card tells you to take charge of your wallet, pay cash for your purchases for 4 weeks, and you will gain more control and you will see you spend in a different way. This card tells you to take that challenge. The last card here is the card of proportion. So it means everything in life is relative, as the first card here is. And here, this card tells you we need to estimate the real value of our money. What does this mean? Well, it's the same actually as this card. So you have two cards who are very similar here. This card means like money is not the same for everyone. For instance, if we have monthly payments for our house and a family who has only one salary and has to pay their rent, because they only have one salary, it has a different impact on their expenses than on a family who has two salaries. $2 for a family that is poor is not the same as $2 for a family who has two incomes and who lives well, a high-yield family, as we say. For these people who have less, it can mean the difference between eating and not. There's a lot of problems going on in the world these days, especially now with the virus. A lot of people suffer because of that. And then we have the additional things than the wars that is going on. But anyway, this card tells you there are proportions in life. So here, this card wants you to find a balanced budget. It wants you to establish a relationship between, the same as this card does, between the outflow and your salary. So here, this card tells you it's you who is in charge, who do the counting from the proportions and the balances. So you need to ask yourself, this card tells about the importance of your spending. Here, we need to, this card also tells you if you have not a clear view about this, you take a piece of paper, you write everything down, you make categories of importance, for instance, and calculate your expenses. And also, are there categories? If you put everything in categories, what you spend, like food and additional expenses, you categorize everything. So if you make certain categories, are there certain categories that are out of proportion and that you don't really need? So this card tells you to make the big picture. So it tells you to pay cash, balance yourself, and put everything in proportion to your salary. So Aries, this is all for the card reading for September for the water group. I hope you liked this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. Thank you for checking out my other videos and see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Aries, and welcome to the Aerosol or the Air Group for your card reading for September 2021. I mentioned it in every group. It's important. Starting 27 September to 18 October, Mercury is starting to go retrograde. It's not a good time to sign contracts, agreements, anything you need to put your name under that officializes. It's not a good thing to do. Also, you will see at that time your bus is always late. You're in the traffic jam. Packages that need to be delivered in your home are wrongly delivered, the conveyance is different, your flight is cancelled. These are all things that are connected to Mercury retrograde. The reason for this is that our mind, our collective mind, the mind of all people is working a little bit slower. So during that time, it's best not to sign any form of agreements. Also, it's best not to buy any electronics like cell phones or, for instance, housekeeping equipment like laundry machines. Why? These devices are connected to contracts. Contracts are connected to warranties, and you see the circle here coming. So the best thing to do during this period is not to make any agreements or sign any contracts at all. If, however, for some reason you are obligated to do so, you have no choice, or you feel compelled, please double, triple check the fine print, because it's possible after you change your mind, there are some clauses in the contract that you overlooked and you want to get out of the contract and you cannot anymore. So the best thing to do during this period is not to sign contracts. Anyway, for your card reading now, for Aries, for the air group, here we go. The first card here is that we need to educate ourselves more financially. Maybe we need to learn more to better budget ourselves. And also, if you have children, also learn your children about financial matters. Probably also for you, the money don't fall from the trees. So here, this card tells you you need to learn yourself. And as you learn your children, you will also learn yourself more. Probably, for giving an example, you're in the mall and your child says to you, can I have this or that article, and you say, no, it's not the right time for this, now we cannot financially, and your child replies, but you have all credit cards in your wallet, why we cannot? And then of course you need to explain. So this is what this card is about. It tells you to you need to learn your children the value about money. This is what this is about. Also, management of housekeeping, it's important that you involve your children in those things. If you do, they will become more aware, and they will change the way they consume later on in life. It's important that they have this knowledge and they turn into knowledgeable consumers, as we say. So talk to your children about money. If you don't do it, break the taboo, inform them, make them aware of healthy practices. Also for yourself, if you notice in your accounts that sometimes there are irregularities in your budgeting, try to learn more about making yourself more secure. This is what this card is about. Try to find information on the internet to educate yourself more about working with money. For instance, if you have certain accounts and these accounts or these credit cards are expensive, try to learn about that and try to avoid expenses you don't need to make. Anyway, by teaching yourself and learn a good foundation for yourself and for your children, you will build up a good future for the both of you, but especially for your children. You need to learn with this card, or you need to learn them. The second card is the cards of discounts that we have here. We are all weak for discounts. If we see the numbers there, 50, 70%, we are all weak for that. Then we sometimes check out the liquidations, and maybe you're one of these people that if some things are 70 or 80% off, you are urged to buy it, and this card tells you not to do so. And also to calculate the real value of the purchase article, because some businessmen are very smart and they adjust the prices and then they put the discount. So this card tells you you need to be sure you make a good deal if you are urged to buy some articles. So don't be overwhelmed by discounts, don't be bewitched by sales. Try to look the other side if you see discount, if you are weak for that. We spent, or this card tells you probably you spent too much on discounted articles. And this card asks you, is it really necessary to buy these things that you don't really need? Also, this card tells you if you are a person who always buy in bulk, especially foods, um, do you catch yourself at the end of the month to giving half to your brother or to the neighbors because the articles are expiring? So this is what this card tells you. Be careful with your money. If you do that, if you buy in bulk and you need to give the articles away, this is not really economizing. This is what this card wants to teach you. Also, if you overflow your house with articles that you don't really need, small gadgets you buy anywhere, you catch yourself, I'm sure, bringing them to the recycling or whatever. And this is not really economizing in your budget. So this card wants you to teach you to ignore offered discounts, liquidations, and improve your wallet. The last card that we see here is about charity. Probably you are a charitable type, because else you would not have this card. Probably you are very generous to the people around you. But this card tells you, even if we are generous to our children and we buy articles in discount, here, this card tells you and asks you if it was really necessary. Will your child love you less? Will your wife love you less if you buy her something that costs less? This card tells you you can pamper the people around you, but does it really need to cost so much? This purchasing of these expensive articles, it has an impact on your daily life and on your budget, of course. So this card tells you need to reorganize yourself a little bit. If your generosity leads to problems or financial distress, it has no place in your life. So before you give to others, secure your own future, build up a safety cushion for you and your family, stimulate your future rather than buying surplus things that you don't really need and that don't change the love for your family and the love from them towards to you. So here this card tells you to remove the essential from the unnecessary. And if you do so, you will be able to establish a wallet who will allow you to give in a healthy way. So this is what it's about. Aries for the Air group. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this reading don't fit you at all, please check out the other 3 card readings that are connected here. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and please check out the other videos in the channel here, and see you soon. Bye-bye for now. Thank you. Hello, Aries, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for the card reading, the financial card reading for September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27th September, Mercury is going retrograde. It's not a good time to sign contracts, agreements, anything you need to put your name under that officializes. It's not a good thing to do so. Also, you will see that your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to be delivered in your home are going to the wrong destination, the containance is wrong. These are all connected to Mercury retrograde. This happens because our collective mind, the mind of all people, is working a little bit slower, and this is what causes the disturbance. So during that time, it's not a good time to make contracts, buy new things. Also, it's not a good idea to buy cell phones during that time, or, for instance, laundry machines. Why? Because these articles or these purchases are connected to a warranty, and the warranty is connected to the contract. Then you see it coming already. So the general idea here is not to buy anything at all during this period, if you can, if it's a serious purchase. If, however, for some reason you are obligated, you have no choice, you feel compelled, double, triple check the fine print, because it's possible after you change your mind, you want to get out of the contract. There are some clauses in the contract you didn't see, you disagree, but you cannot get out anymore. So anyway, the idea here is not to sign. So Taurus, Aries, for your card reading, here we go. As the first card here, we see the credit cards. This card wants us to evaluate the behavior of our credit cards. As most of us people, we all use a lot of credit cards. We lost a little bit the touch with our money. So Here, this card tells you if you are in, first, this card tells you you need to evaluate your behavior of your credit card. How would you position yourself? You use your credit card in a wise way, or you considered yourself as unwise? This is what the first question with this card. Here, if you see or if you evaluate yourself that you spend too much, probably it's best you change the behavior of your credit cards, especially on the credit cards if you have several with the high interests. Some credit cards have enormous interests, and of course we need to pay for these interests also if we don't balance out ourselves by the end of the month. This makes your financial situation, it puts stress on your financial situation, and that is not the purpose here. The purpose of a credit card is for making your life easier, not for giving you stress. So if you have overdue credit cards or accounts, just check if you don't need to balance out these things. So here, this card tells you to exercise your behavior of the credit card. So think wisely how you use them, and try to use them in a positive way as a positive management of yourself. And especially if some of your credit cards have high interest, check at the end of the month when you receive your invoices, what are the interests on these credit cards if you have several, because some of these credit cards are real sharking. So be careful of that here, because this is what this card is about. If they are charging you too much, just try to get rid of them. The second card is the value of small amounts of money that we spend. What does this mean? Well, since we are always using credit cards, we lost a little bit of track of the value of our money. We don't touch it anymore. And sometimes that's a shame, and it's difficult because we are not in touch anymore with our money. Also, you need to think if some money disappears from your account, for instance, if you do payments, if the payments are small, we don't even pay attention to it anymore. This is sometimes it's a problem, and this card tells you that small amounts of money, or even the small coins in your pockets or in your wallet, they are very important. It has a great importance. So the next time if you visit a store, rate also what you have bought. Look at the articles and ask yourself about small articles that you maybe not really need and that are like unnecessary purchases. This is what this card is about. Respecting the small money, let it have its moment of glory. And in doing so, you will save a lot of money, because small coins, they end up in hundreds end up in thousands, and you can make the connection here. And the last card is connected to it. So this whole laying is about getting more knowledge about the use of your credit cards, the value of small amounts of money, and educating yourself more so you can improve yourself financially better and you progress in life. This laying wants to educate you for using your money in a sensible way. This is what this card laying wants to do. Also, this card is connected to your children. It wants you to educate your children about financial matters. Probably where you live also, the money don't fall from the trees. And also you need to keep them, teach them about budgeting the household, what these things cost. It has an impact on all of us. You buy maybe certain toys for your children because they ask you to, but maybe you need to ask yourself if this is really necessary. So this is about your personal finances and teaching it to your offspring or your children. So if children are not taught a certain behavior and they don't know, they turn into hyper consumers. If you teach them, they become knowledgeable consumers. So talk to your children about money, talk about the way you spend money, how you earn money. You need to, if you never talk about money, this card tells you need to break the taboo. You need to inform them and make them aware how money works. So by teaching them the good foundations, you will help yourself greatly. There will come less requests. You will help yourself and you will help them. So Aries, for the Stone Group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check out the other 3 card readings that are following here. Anyway, I would like to thank you for watching my channel and also for checking out the other videos. And we see each other soon. Thank you. Bye-bye for now. Hello Aries and welcome to the Matches or the Fire group for your card reading for September 2021. Before we start, I mention it in every group because it's important. During 20 September up to 18 October, it's important that you try to avoid to sign any form of contracts, because at that time Mercury is going retrograde. When Mercury is going retrograde, it's not a good time to sign contracts. Also, you will see that your train is late, your flight is cancelled, packages that you need to receive at home are not showing up, they are delivered in the wrong place. There's a lot of things that are going wrong with Mercury going retrograde. This is because our mind, the mind of all people, our collective mind, is working a little bit slower. And this is what causes the delays and the confusion. So during that time, it's not a good idea to purchase articles also, for instance, like a cell phone or laundry machines. Why? These things are connected to warranty. The warranty is connected to the contract and you can make the connection. So during that time, it's not a good idea to agree with contracts. It's best to stay away from them till this period is passed after 18 October. But if for some reason you feel compelled, you are obligated to sign a contract, please double check, triple check the fine print, because it's possible after you change your mind, there are some clauses in the contract you overlooked and you disagree with, but you cannot get out of the contract anymore. If you want to get out, you need to pay. So it's not a good time during that period for signing contracts. Anyway, this being said, we continue with your card reading. The first card here is that you probably are in a better financial situation for now. And this card also wants to tell you that money don't bring happiness. If we have our basics, we have our food, we have shelter, we can heat ourselves, we are happy how we are. These are the basic things that are covered. Then, of course, we come in the luxurious area. And of course, we all would like to have more. We like to travel more, we like to spend more. But this card asks you, do you think this really would make you more happy on the long run in the course of your life? Or is this a temporary happiness? Of course, we can all aspire to the standard of living of kings, and to happiness, money and happiness. But if money was so important and it would make so unbelievable happy, why are the super rich, many of them very depressed? So there is some distinction here that this card wants to tell you, and it wants to tell you that money will not make you happy. Of course, it's important we have enough. We need to cover our basics, but money is essential for the basics. But if the basics are filled, we cannot rely on that anymore. We need to see that we are happy in different ways. This card tells you to enjoy the little things in life, enjoy your children, enjoy your partner, enjoy the small things around you, because that is the real deal. And this card, probably people around you have a lot of goods, material goods, they improve in your life. And some people are very sensitive for the social pressure around them. What does this mean? Well, your brother probably, or your sisters, or your neighbors have on regular basis new cars, they have the latest gadgets, cell phones, they have nice clothes, designer clothes, they wear the latest shoes. This card means this puts a social pressure on us because we belong in a certain group of people. We live in a certain environment, and the people mostly around us are connected to that same environment. So we ourselves also want a new car. We want also designer clothes, but this card tells you not to compare your financial situation for the people around you. We make choices every day, and you are the one responsible for those choices. So this card tells you, don't let others' financial appearances fool you, because it's not always what is happening, what we see. Our eyes can deceive us. So this card also tells you, if you really need a car or an expensive purchase, you can check out the internet, for instance, for a laundry machine or whatever. You buy it secondhand, and some even of these things or microwaves are still packed. The warranty is with it. So this card tells you also you can buy articles like that and save money. There are a lot of websites with new articles that are never used. It's up to you to find them. This is what this says, to stay away from this social pressure, especially from gadgets and things like that. What we have more here, so what we see on the outside is not always so. So this card tells you to live according to your needs, to your abilities. You need to define yourself, your personality, your accomplishment, and don't compare yourself to others. You yourself, your family is more important than bending for social pressure for the latest phone or the latest shoes. So don't compare yourself to others. Just distinguish yourself and see that your own life is in the good direction. The last card is the card of heritage. It means, in general, this card that we cannot rely on others for helping us, or we cannot expect that any inheritance is coming to us, even though if we assume it would be. Here, this card tells you, if you made a calculated guess, for instance, for your pension, it tells you to review your point of view. So it's sometimes dangerous to rely or we wait on inheritance for improving or changing our life. If your parents are very sick and they're at the end, we can incalculate this in our budget, but we are never sure. We are only sure when the notary is reading the will, or the notary or the lawyer is reading the will. So don't make this mistake, this card tells you. Also, the life expectancy of people has exploded over the years and over the past decades. So your parents will likely become much older than their ancestors. So as we get older, they need to sell our house. They have different survival conditions, and we cannot blame them because it's their right, and they have their needs, so they can testamentary do whatever they want. So maybe your father or your mother, maybe they succumb to the young Venus living next door, or some young guy they met on the internet, and maybe they decide to favor this person or this new lover in the expense of the descendants. This happens sometimes. So this card just wants you to be careful. It can be part of your plan, but nevertheless, it need to be carefully approached. This is what this card tells you. So plan your future your own way, and if you do so, you will come out as a winner wherever this situation is going. So, Aries, for the matches or the fire group, this is all. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check out the other 3 card readings that are connected here. And thank you for checking out the other videos on my channel. Anyway, we see each other soon. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye for now. Thank you.